welcome guys. Welcome to the second session of Property Secrets. We hope that you enjoyed the first session. Just to introduce myself again, my name's Tony Perera, based in West London, a property investor. Have a few years experience, and basically just here to share my knowledge and vision, with a view to helping other people, and obviously answering any questions that anybody's got. Now we've got a really great session for you today. Our session today is all on property finance, and basically how you finance your deals. Without further ado, I've got my friend and my mentor here, Faz Ullah, hugely experienced in property, has a massive portfolio, had a mixture of rent properties, HMOs, buy-to-lets, and has probably done every strategy you can think of. So we're hugely lucky to have him on the session today. Hi Faz, how you doing? You okay?
Yes, very well there, Tony. I'm very well, fantastic. Thank you very much. I hope you're all is good and all is well.
Sure. So what we'll do then, Faz, is we'll get started with our session today. We've got the agenda lined up. So let's start with the first. So as you know, Faz, our session today is all about finance, creative finance, and how us property investors find ways of financing deals with or without our own money, but more often than not without our own money. And this is the vision and the ideas and we want to give to our viewers, and because for some people, obviously, depending on your mindset, you may not know about the ways that property investors finance deals. So all this might be new to you, and we hope that this gives you value. Okay, so you've done a number of creative finance deals, haven't you, Faz?
I have indeed.
Creative finance is one of your best friends, right?
Oh yes, I love understanding how to do property deals and transactions without using your own money. Okay. I like to find out different methods and different ways of doing that. Yeah.
Okay. So if we can just start, Faz, with just the different types of creative finance that you would recommend and you would suggest, that may not be obvious to people just sort of starting out in property or looking to get into property, or people that are existing but may not know all the strategies that there are. If you can just give us a rundown of what you've done and how you've done them, and any examples you can offer would be much appreciated.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, with regards no money down and doing creative strategies, there are so many. I'm just going to touch on a few really. So it gets you kind of understanding how it works. I mean, anything is possible if you put your mind to it. You've just got to be focused, and you've got to believe that you can do it, and then you've got to get the right knowledge and the right information from the right source, from the right people.
Sure.
And connect with the environment that you are, growing yourself in, So, I would always encourage someone to be part of a property tribe or a property community, or just make friends and connect with people already in property that are doing what you want to do,
Sure.
That's my best advice, really, because, and then from there you want to build a peer group, and people, you want to meet, the likes of mortgage brokers, you want to meet accountants, you want to meet solicitors, you want to meet builders, you want to meet property coaches, you want to meet all these different types of people, you know.
Sure.
They don't. They need to be investors themselves, because then they understand how to invest. You know, creatively. You know, but not everybody knows these methods. So I'll just give you. So at the moment, for example, my goal and my ambition for this year is I'm going to go and get 6 HMO properties. And what HMO properties is, it stands for houses of multiple occupants. You know, where you divide each room individually. You know, it might be a 3-bedroom house where you have 2 reception rooms on the ground floor. You know, so that in total is 5 rooms, and you would rent out all 5 rooms individually. You know, and the average rent in London is around £600 per month is the average. You know, and you know, and if you've got 5 double rooms to rent out, that brings you in £3,000, right? 6 times 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, you know, if you've got a 3-bedroom house with 2 reception rooms, bringing you in £3,000 per month, your mortgage, is going to be, it's the lowest it's ever been. It's the lowest that I can ever imagine it's ever been. You know, I mean, on some of my properties, I pay, you know, just over 1%, 1.5%, you know, which is crazy. You know, some of my properties are worth £500,000, you know, and I'm only paying like £400 a month mortgage, you know, and the rents are like £3,000, you know, so you can, it just gives you an idea as there's crazy amounts of cash flow to be had in this market, you know, and so just to give you an example, at the moment, I'm looking at, let's give you an example. I'm looking at a property in Liverpool, for example, at the moment.
Yeah.
And that property is, the purchase price is £60,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the loan to value on a £60,000 house in Liverpool is going to be 75% loan to value, which means you need to put a 25% deposit in. 25% deposit.
Faz, if we could mute everyone, if you don't mind.
Okay. Yeah, could everybody mute themselves, please? Yeah. So, so you have 25% deposit to put in a house, 75% loan to value. So that would be £15,000 deposit on a £60,000 house. Now, the work that needs to be done in the property is, obviously this property is distressed, it's tired looking, it needs a new kitchen, it needs a new bathroom. And I always say that the smelliest properties are the best properties, because that's, for me, it smells cha-ching, you know.
You smell the money, right?
Smell the money. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and the work it needs about £50,000 of work spending on this property. Yeah. And what you can do is you could 60 plus 50, so there's £110,000 that needs to go into the property, right?
Okay.
Yeah? Now, the way the lenders work is when you bought the property, once you've completed the work, on a commercial valuation, which will be based on the rental income of the property, that particular property will be worth around £140,000 to £150,000.
Right.
Okay, on a commercial valuation. Yeah. Okay. So now the question you asked me is, how can I buy this property creatively with none of my own money?
Yeah.
Because quite frankly, I don't want to put any money into any property really, but I want to have an asset which is producing cash flow and which is going up in equity, right?
Yeah.
So what I would do is, the deposit is only £15,000. Yeah. So I would and I'm sure everybody knows what a credit card is.
Yeah.
So I would put £15,000 deposit on a credit card. I would put the deposit down on a credit card. So I'm using other people's money, right?
Yeah.
So it hasn't cost me any money. So so I use the credit card. So now if my limit on my credit card is only £5,000, you know, because I might just get a new credit card and I'll only get £5,000 on it, then I'll ring up the bank and I'll say, excuse me, Mr. Bank, is there any chance that you could increase my limit to £15,000? You know, and providing you used the £5,000, and what I would do is I would transfer that £5,000 into my bank account and then transfer it out of my bank account 2 weeks later back to the credit card company, right? And the reason I would do that is because the credit card company, they're in business, you know, to lend money, and that's how they make their money. So if they see you using their money and they've seen you giving it all back again, they're really pleased with you. They're delighted. They love you, don't they? So when them up the following month to asking for more money, then what are they going to say? Yes, of course we're going to lend you.
Yes.
Yeah. So now you've asked them for £15,000. They've given it to you, right?
Yes.
Within an hour, they've probably given it to you, right?
Thank you.
So now you've got this property, £60,000.
Yeah.
You can put down the deposit of £15,000. It's cost you no money. Yeah. And then the work that needs doing to it, £50,000, you know, what you do is the lender that you're going to use is going to be bridging finance, because they're going to give you a 75% loan to value.
Yeah.
And because they know what it's going to be worth at the end, they're also going to give you 100% of the refurb cost, which is the £50,000 to do the work.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Now that work might take them 8 weeks or 10 weeks to do, the builders, that is. And then at the end of it, based on the commercial valuation, now you've got a brand new kitchen in there, brand new bathroom in there, painted and decorated right throughout. You know, you've got central heating, double glazing, you know, and you've got 6 en-suites or 5 en-suites, or whatever the case may be, you know, and you've got a really nice dining area, and you've got professionals that are moving in because it's the standards are good and they want to live there. Everything smells fresh, everything's clean. You might have a plasma TV on the wall, and you've got people buying your hands off, just want to jump into that kind of a property, you know. And the rent up there would be about 350 roughly per room for a month, you know.
Okay.
If you times that by, say, you got 5 rooms in there, you know, that's £1,400, you know. And if you now did the maths, and if that property values up at, let me just grab my calculator, and if it values up at, say, with a commercial valuation, that's going to value up at, for example, let's say £140,000. Now you go and get a mortgage on that, which is 75% loan to value. That gives you a mortgage of £105,000. So now you poured out £105,000, and of course the property, the whole scenario, costs you £110,000. Yeah. So in this particular scenario, you've got £5,000 of your own money left in. Yeah. So the £15,000 that you would have used a credit card company, that would have come back to you bar £5,000. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope that makes sense. I mean, I went through it quite quickly, but that's how the no money down scenario would work. Yeah. But in this particular scenario, you know, if the property was valued up at £145,000, then there'll be no money down scenario, because then that £5,000 comes back as well. And then what you do with the £15,000 that comes back is you give it back to the credit card company. Yeah. So it costs you no interest.
Yeah. That's good.
And now you've got a property, you're renting it out, it's producing £1,400 a month in cash flow, and your mortgage on £105,000, at the moment it's really low, so let's just work that out. On an interest only, let's say 3%, that would work out to be £113 per month. Yeah, so £113 per month, let's say on a 5-bed, let's say it's £400 for bills, internet included, internet and gas and electricity, and let's say 400, let's call it £500 all in for bills. and £1,400, so you've got £900 profit there. £1,400 minus 500 is £900 a month cash flow. And you've got property now, you've got an asset, yeah, which you've got £40,000 equity in the deal from day one, from the day you buy, yeah. Value, you've got an asset which is producing cash flow, you know, and it's costing you no money.
When can I start?
Just to welcome our viewers, you can, some of you logged in recently, so really great to have you on. This is really good. But just to say, any questions that you guys want to have at the end, we will open the floor up for questions. Okay, so if you don't mind, just keep yourselves on mute. We've got a few things to get through, and then right at the end, we're going to do some questions. So thank you very much for coming on the call. Really great, really great to have you guys. Not sure if you missed it, but just so you know, our main objective today is just to give value to anybody that's interested in property and the methods that Faz and myself are talking about. Now, Faz, thank you very much for that detailed explanation. Credit cards is fantastic, and it's a great way of financing. Because, as I said, the business of credit card companies is to lend money. So that's what they want to do. Now, that actual concept may be a bit daunting to people, but with the right guidance and with the right coaching, you can definitely finance a purchase with a credit card done in the right way. Okay. Now, obviously, you've got to be responsible with your lending. And we would never advise anyone that was in a particular bad situation financially to go ahead and do that. But with the right training, that's something that can be done. Now, other examples, Faz, that you would say, obviously, we've covered credit cards, and I'm just wary of time. We've got to move on. We've got a couple of other things to move on to. But what other suggestions would you say in terms of creatively financing? So someone doesn't put in any of their own money. Would you suggest, apart from credit cards?
Yeah. So okay. So let me give you another example. Okay. Now, in London, the average 3-bedroom house is roughly, these days, around £500,000. Yeah, that's how much. Yeah, in London, roughly.
Everybody accepts that.
Give or take, £100,000 either way, but roughly it's around £500,000 at the moment. So the properties that I bought back in 2007, 2008, they are now worth £500,000. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we're experiencing a recession, which means that this opportunity is going to be the best buying opportunity that we're going to have in our lifetime to buy properties. Yeah, and I don't think we're going to see a better opportunity than this ever again, really, to buy properties. And if we're serious about jumping on and getting some properties, then now's the time. Now's the time, really is. And so right now, at the moment, what's going on? Look, businesses are going shut, organizations are closing down, and we've had a lockdown for the last two or coming on to 3 months now, and people are losing their jobs like crazy. Governments are having to bail people out by giving people bounce back loans, and also giving all sorts of loans, and also mortgage holidays. The lenders have been forced to, the government have been asked lenders to give, everyone mortgage holidays for like 3 months, etc., just for people to get by. What's going to happen once these mortgage holidays are over? Well, I can tell you now, for those people that are going to go back to work, out the working professionals, 10% are going to lose their jobs. Now, if 10% are losing their jobs, what's going to happen to their properties that they live in? Obviously, they're going to end up getting repossessed, so they're going to end up renting. you know. So there's a huge opportunity for people that are going to be repossessed. So it's going to be crazy amounts of times, but there's going to be lots and lots of people that are going to be repossessed. So there's huge opportunities for investors to go in and get some bargains, get some deals, and get some real property. So there's properties, for example, when we talk about creative finance, you know, if you come across a property in London that is really clapped out condition, is dilapidated, it needs absolutely everything doing to it. You can name it, like the electric, like the wiring, like the kitchen, the bathroom, the flooring, the double glazing, the central heating, the new boiler, everything needing doing to it. Now, that's going to cost like £50,000, right, at least, you know, and you know, all the work to be done. Now, if you buy that property from a motivated vendor, somebody who needs to sell and has to sell and sell very, very quickly just to move on in life, you know, the key here is someone's circumstances of why they have to move on. And it could be a variety of reasons, really. You know, it could be anything from a split couple. It could be there's been a death in the family, like a probate sale. It could be someone who's in financial difficulties, you know. It could be, you know, these are the main kind of reasons, right, why somebody needs to move on, you know, and no one's going to buy that property in that condition. Let's say if they gave that property to an agent, you know, first-time buyers, people who don't understand property investing, they're not going to know what to do and how to do it. They're going to run a mile if they see a property in poor condition, you know, because they want a done-up property, right? So, yeah, so therefore there's no one else. So therefore that property is going to get no viewings, and it's going to get no attraction from anyone in the market. And agents are certainly not going to want to look at it or entertain it, you know, because they have a different mindset. You know, it's a first-time buyer's mindset, you know, and there is no first-time buyers in the market. And because of the uncertainty and the nervousness in the market, first-time buyers are going to be staying away, which gives us more opportunities for investors to come in to snap up these deals and these bargains, yeah? Now, that property is worth, we know, £500,000, but it's on the market and it's going for 250, you know? So an investor comes in and they say, well, fantastic, let me cha-ching. So they buy that property for 250 using, there's two ways that they can finance it. They can either find, there's many ways they can finance it, actually. They can finance it using private finance, which is other people's money, like people who haven't got a Scooby-Doo about property, yeah? Like, you know, you'll have some lawyers, like you'll have professionals, but they've got a lot of money, you know, so you go to them and give them a return. So they've got money and their money is earning them zero interest in the bank. Like it could be, you know, we know what it is in the bank. It's peanuts, really, isn't it? You know, so, but if you as an investor went up to that person who's got lots of money in the bank and you know they've got lots of money, it could be a family friend, it could be a friend of a friend, it could be any professional out there, and you said to them, listen, I'm going to give you 10% of your money, yeah, and I only need it for 6 months, or I need it for a year, yeah? And if you borrowed £50,000 or you borrowed £250,000, then you give them 10% on that. 10% of £250,000 is 25k, right? And who wouldn't want 25k on their money within a year? They're not going to get it anywhere else, are they? Yeah, and you've got that opportunity. You can give that to them from the deal, right? From the deal, from the property. That money's going to come back from the property. And I'm going to show you exactly how it's going to be done. Yeah, okay. Now you've got private finance. That's one way. You've got another way, which is bridging. So a bridger, a finance, they will purchase the property for you on your behalf with cash. You know, if you read just newspapers, yeah, it's just cash buyer. There's bridging finance, where that money comes from, right? That's what called cash. That's hardcore cash. And they're ready to spend money on you because you have found the deal, yeah? Okay, and then at the end of the day, they'll buy that property cash, and then they will do 100% of the effort for the work that needs doing in the property, which is the 50k. They 100% refurb cost. They will put that money in there as well. Yeah. Okay? And then so that property now you purchased it using other people's money, which is 250 plus 50k, which the refurb cost. The total in is 300k, and you haven't put any money in from your own pocket, right? Okay. Yeah. Now the work is now done. 3 months later, it's beautiful. It smells really nice. You know, you've got loads of en-suites, and you've got new kitchen, new bathroom, new double glazing, new central heating. It's a beautiful property. It's worth £500,000. In this market, a surveyor has got to protect the interest of the bank. So he's not going to value it up to what it's actually worth. He's going to downvalue it by at least 10%. Yeah. Now, even if he downvalues it to £450,000, right, and you get a mortgage on that, which will equate to £450,000 times 75% loan to value is £337,000. You put how much money in? £300,000 in. That money goes back to the lender. Yeah, you made £37,500, and it's cost you no money. And that property in London, if it's going to be, you know, you're going to rent out 600. That's £3,000. So 337 times 0.3% divided by 12, it gives you a mortgage of, 1 second, let me just work that out. £450,000 times 75% loan to value, 3% times 0.03 divided by 12 equals 306. Okay, let's have a look at that again. That's £842 mortgage on that. Yeah, interest only. Yeah. So now, if the rent is £3,000 per month, take off 842, and the bills we know is going to be about £400. So take off £1,200 off the £3,000, which gives you a total of £1,800 cash flow. Pocket money, yeah, money in the bank, yeah. And for most people, that's enough to get them financially free. And how many do they need?
Faz, really sorry, but I'm going to cut you off. We've got a few other things to move on with. But that's been really, really. What we can do is we can address any questions at the end with regards to this topic. Yeah. So cool. That's okay. No. So the second bit of the agenda is that we want to do. Talking about residential and commercial valuations, which you were talking about, yeah. Now, if we can just outline exactly what is the difference between a residential valuation and a commercial valuation.
Residential valuation is a valuation that has been carried out on bricks and mortar value.
Okay.
Yeah. A commercial valuation is a valuation that's is based on the rental income of what that property produces.
Yeah.
With a commercial value, they're not interested in you, yeah, because you could have poor credit, yeah. So they're not interested in you as the person. Then the lenders are more interested in what the income that property is producing. Is it a viable proposition for them to invest in, you know? And that's what they're interested in. And if they can see that through their due diligence that the income that's to be made is in a good location, and you know, then they will lend you the money, and that's based on a commercial valuation. Bricks and mortar is a buy-to-let mortgage, so it's not a HMO. You know, so what the figures I was basing everything that I do HMO. You see, I'm an HMO specialist. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was giving you the figures based on a HMO. You know, but if we were to give you the figures based on buy-to-let, then it'll be slightly different, you know. It'll be what the bricks and mortar valuation, what it really means essentially is, you know, if a property is on the market, let's say on Rightmove, yeah, and it's what the average person would purchase that property for, yeah, it's what a property would be sold for. And if you went on to net house prices, you'd know what properties are selling for in a specific area on net house prices.
Yeah.
On Rightmove these days, you know, that's what really essentially bricks and mortar is. It's based on
so in essence,
what's selling.
Commercial valuations are a little bit more easier, aren't they, in terms of actually working it out? So, for example, let's say we had a 5-bed HMO producing let's say £500 per room. So 5 times 500 means 2,500, which means so across the year that would be producing £30,000. Yeah.
Yeah.
So £30,000 annually. Then what would be is there's normally a multiplier, right? So how do you normally work that out in terms
Well,
of
so the yield is calculated the way you worked out just there, Tony. That's how you calculate the yield. You know.
Right.
All right, and then the yield is worked out based on the yield is based on the I don't know the exact calculation.
Sure.
But it's a mortgage broker always works out for me, to be honest. I can never remember it. But there is there's a calculation that they work out on.
Sure.
Based on.
So basically, if you're doing a deal like that, then it's definitely advisable to speak to a mortgage broker that specializes in these types of valuations or deals with this. You know.
Yeah, because every deal is different, and
every deal is different.
And because that's not my
yeah.
You know, I'd always speak to someone who is more knowledgeable in that area.
Specialized, yeah.
Like a mortgage broker.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the next part of our topic of our agenda is why do property investors fund their own deals with none of their own money? I mean, obviously the obvious reason is that because obviously no one has unlimited funds, right? But sort of, you know, financially, I mean, obviously it works out better, right? Because in terms of things like infinite return and all that kind of stuff, which may be an alien concept to some of our viewers and some people that are watching. Can you give us a bit of insight into that, Faz, and how people can make sense of that, basically?
Well, you see, it's all about what the individual goal is. I mean, you've got to have a goal. You've got to have a vision of what it is you want to accomplish. You know, you got to know what it is you want. If you don't know what you want, then you're barking up the wrong tree, man. You know, you got to know what you want in life. You got to know what, you know, only if you know what you want, then you put a plan in place to get what you want and bridge that gap, you know? So I mean, for me, when I first started, all I wanted was 6 properties in my first year. So I achieved that, And now, that was in 2007, 2008, when I first started a property. But now I made a decision while in lockdown, and I said to myself, I want 6 more properties this year. Yeah, no one's going to stop me. I'm going to go get 6 properties this year. By Christmas, I'm going to have 6 properties, another 6 properties, HMOs, that are going to be producing £5,000 per month, roughly. Yeah, that's my goal for this year, and I want to document my journey. I'm going to be sharing what I'm doing, how I'm doing, on a regular basis with people who want to know, you know. And so basically, to answer your question, sure, you've got to know what you want, really. And then, for example, in terms of what you want, you've got to be a bit more specific. So, you know, some people want capital growth, some people want cash flow, some people want net equity, some people want flats, some people want houses, some people want
yields. It
falls down to what somebody wants, you know. And my thing was equity, and it was cash flow. You know? Therefore, what I then do is I find the people that are doing what I want to do, and then I start to follow them.
Sure.
And I learn from them. I pick their brains, you know, and I try to spend my time with them, you know. You're a product of your environment, you know. So if you spend your time with 5 idiots, guess who's going to be the 6th one? If you spend your time with 5 multi-millionaires, who's going to be the 6th one? It's that kind of thing, you know.
Yeah.
Well, you're a product of your surroundings. That's all I gotta say.
Perfect. That's a great answer.
Yeah.
So our next item on the agenda is obviously you mentioned two concepts. You mentioned cash flow. You mentioned appreciation. In your opinion, you know, strictly as a property investor, when you're looking at a deal, what is the thing that you look for firstly, or in terms of priority? How would you prioritize when you look at a deal in terms of numbers and whether it's going to work?
The first thing is I look at if it's 28% below market value, that's no money down.
Okay.
28% below market value is no money down. Yeah.
Okay.
And how do you know what the value of each property is? Yeah. Well, you go onto your good old friend Rightmove on the internet, and you type in the postcode, and you look within a quarter of a mile radius, and it'll tell you what the prices of the properties are of that similar condition, similar style in that particular area. They'll tell you, yeah. And you might have one at 350, you might want to have a 330, you might have a 360, you might, you know, so that you know the average is going to be 350. So you know by just doing your own research, you know that property is 350, yeah. Yeah, and then you know you'd work out 28% off that. Yeah, which the way to work out the calculator.
Could we do one better for the Faz? Could we maybe share our screen and maybe do a live example for our viewers? Do you think that could work?
Yeah, sure, we could do that.
Sorry?
Yeah, we could do that if you want me to share my screen. Yeah, of course. Yeah, no problem at all.
Just so everybody knows what we're talking about.
Yeah. Okay. So at the moment, I want to the government are giving away free money at the moment, where there's no interest for a year, and they're giving it to anybody.
That's another form of creative finance, yeah.
And they're giving it to anybody and everybody at the moment. It doesn't matter if you smell. It doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter what your credit rating is. It doesn't matter if you're bankrupt. It doesn't matter who you are. They don't want to know who you are. They just want to give you the money. All you got to do is just ask for it, you know. And so I've asked. I had 50K land in my bank the other day. I've asked again today. I've got another 50K coming into my bank in the next couple of days. And then I want to build up a cash pot. So in 12 months' time, once I've got these properties, I'm going to give this money back to the banks, and I've got 6 properties which has cost me no money. That's what the plan is, you know. So it's pretty straightforward. But we'll talk more about that as time goes on. But you wanted me to show you an example here on Rightmove, right?
Yeah, in terms of what people will be looking for in terms of how to determine an end value of a property.
Okay, so postcode.
Let's pick your area, so Croydon, for example.
Okay, let's pick up my area. Okay.
So we look at a bog standard 3-bedroom house, for example?
Okay, so what I would do here then is I would change these filters from 2 to 3.
Yeah.
And I would change this 3 to maybe 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm looking at everything which is either a 3-bedroom or a 4-bedroom house.
And then make it a houses.
Houses, okay. So let's do houses, which would be terraced houses.
Yeah.
And then I'll click on done. And we don't want flats, so get rid of the flat, and we do houses. So everything that's going to show here now is going to be houses.
Yeah.
So the first thing that's come up is a house which is on for £485,000.
Okay.
Excellent decorative order. I don't want to look at that at all. If it's in excellent condition, I'm not interested.
Because it's already at the top end, right?
Yeah. So
You can actually change it, can't you, to the lowest price properties, can't you?
yeah, you can. I've already done that actually.
Okay.
Yeah. So then that was the reason I came out on top, because it's a featured property.
Okay.
Yeah, and people pay extra money for that. But so the cheapest one here in Croydon is £261,000 with right roof. Don't forget there is also another platform called Zoopla, and Zoopla is cheaper, so that's why a lot of, like local agents will use Zoopla. So you can use Zoopla as well.
So just to point out that property up there is, I think it's for 60 plus only. So maybe let's move on to the next one.
Yeah. I won't look at that one at all. Concrete construction, lenders don't like looking at those, so that's why I would not look at that either. So this one here, this is a 3-bedroom house in chain free, ready to purchase, requiring modernization. Now, I like the sound of that already. It's the perfect house to put your own stamp on, whether you are a first-time buyer or an investor. Yeah, £275,000, and it's in Southbridge Place, 3-bedroom, end of terrace house. And then I'll look into this a bit more. It's on with leaders, and so the things I want to look at here is floor plan.
Yeah.
And the reason I look at floor plan is to see how big the sizes of the rooms are, and to see if I can get 5 people in there.
Yeah.
And from looking at that, there's a small kitchen, so that lounge in the background I would need to use as a communal area. But the bedroom number 2 is tiny.
Yeah.
So and then the only good sized rooms are bedroom number 1 and bedroom number 3.
3, yeah.
And it doesn't look to me as if that's going to work from a HMO perspective. Just because, so I know without even ringing anyone up that one's not going to work. You know.
But if we're looking at that one, Faz, in terms of a buy to let and looking at a bricks and mortar valuation, how would we know what we think top end we could get if that was done up?
Okay, so bricks and mortar, then we would go back and to see if there's anything else in this area that's on for sale, because that one is in poor condition, and then we'll see if there is. And then there's
or net house prices.
Or net house prices.
Okay.
Yeah. But one other thing that I would look at also is the location.
Yeah, because as you know Croydon fairly well, you're saying that a 3-bedroom can range up to about $500,000, right? So if you were able to snap this up for 275, you potentially could be looking at a discount of £225,000. Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing that worries me about this area is the location.
Okay.
It's got tram links close by, but it's not close to any station.
Okay.
And but there's a deal to be had here. But let me just check on what else is on the market. And so I would look at the floor plan, and I would look at the location, and so we know whereabouts it is. So the name of this road is called South Bridge Place. Yeah. So what I would do here then is go to sold house prices. Sold house prices. And I would put here South Bridge Place. Croydon.
Yeah.
List view.
Yeah.
And I'm going to see, first of all, if that property is here. That property is not here. And then I'll put, instead of this area only, I'll put a quarter of a mile away.
Yeah.
So the last 3 bedrooms, that's a semi-detached. That was sold for £430,000. That was the 12th of February this year. And then you've got a 2-bedroom which was sold for £308,000 in Old Town Croydon. So, and that was Old Town Croydon as well. So this is a 2-bedroom house which was sold for £308,000. So this is a good comparable because the one we've just seen is a 3-bedroom house. You know.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So the price of the one we have just seen, we know it's going to be somewhere between this 2-bed and this 3-bed here. But this 3-bed is a semi and a terrace is a big difference.
Okay.
The difference is around £30,000. So if we take £30,000 off that, that'll make it 400,000. And this is worth 308. So my guess is that that property is worth around 330, 340. That's without me speaking to any agent. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's my own personal view. Now what I would need to do is call up some local agents in the area, and I would ask them, look, I've got this property that I'm planning on selling, so I would pose as the owner, and I would say, look, I'm just after a desktop valuation at the moment. This is the property, this is the postcode. Can you give me an idea of how much this might be worth in today's market? And then they're going to tell you on the phone because they want your instruction to sell their your property. And of course they're going to tell you, yeah. Now, if you went through any other way, then they probably won't listen to you. Yeah, and they'll probably try it on and say, no, we need to come and see the property, and just say, look, I don't want the tenants to really know that I'm selling the property, and I can't have you coming in when the tenants are there. So could you just give me a desktop valuation, please? And then they will. It's a technique, you know. It's 3 years of experience.
Yeah. Faz, thank you so much for that. I think that's been very, very helpful for the viewers, and you know, a live example obviously always gives a great way for people to kind of you know, to do their own research as well, because obviously it's one thing saying it, but actually showing us how to do it, that is, you know, amazing value. So thank you so much for that and sharing your knowledge. So we are running out of time, but we've just got enough time for any questions. So I've got a couple of questions from some other viewers, but what we'll do is we'll open up the floor to our viewers. So Adriana, Mary, Sarah, and Michael. Has anybody got any questions? If we can just do it one at a time. So I'm going to ask, I'm going to go in order. And Adriana first, any questions? If you unmute yourself. Faz, can you unmute Adriana, please, Faz?
Hi, thanks for the opportunity.
Adriana, I'm muted actually.
We can't hear you, Adriana.
She's very faint.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take the... It was the same last time.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity, guys. It's really, really interesting because I've always thought I cannot earn this amount of money. How am I going to do that? Because I really want it, if not for me, at least for my kids. And this is very interesting, and I do appreciate your time. And I am on board. When can I start again?
You can start whenever you want.
Yeah, I need your guidance, and I'm really
Sure.
very much interested.
Anything specific that caught your attention, or what you're looking for in terms of in property? I mean, do you currently own any other? Do you own your own house at the moment, or
Nothing. Got a debt of 5,000. Is that any help? Just on cards.
Sure.
So,
I mean, what are your aspirations? Do you have a sort of a goal to own maybe one buy-to-let, or?
No, at the beginning, I would like to own my own property, but
Okay.
I don't mind starting on buy-to-let and then because I don't think with my chances that I can go for my dream house right now, because it won't be wise.
Okay.
The reason that we're doing this is to get opportunity to buy something to make money, and not to own your house and then don't do with nothing that. So I don't mind starting small anywhere outside London, and then go towards my goals, which is getting into property full time. Not full time. I've got ACN full time, so part time maybe.
So I mean that's good. So what we can do is, if Faz is okay, we can arrange maybe a 15 or 20-minute coaching call with yourself, Faz. Would that be okay? So Adriana can sort of identify her goals.
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah.
That's one thing. Is there a cost? Because you're not going to do it for free, are you?
Yeah. No. Well. What we'll do, Adriana, we're gonna arrange a 20-minute coaching call with Faz, and then Faz can go through all the options, and according to your goals, we can see how how we can help you. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the main aim. But thank you. Thanks for your call. Thanks for your question. Sorry. But let's move on to Mary. Any questions, Maria? Sorry. Do you wanna just mute yourself back, Adrian, if you don't mind? Maria, any questions, Maria?
Well, at the moment, I don't have a question.
Okay. Okay.
Because I got lost at some point, and I want to understand better.
No worries. Well, we hope we provided you with some knowledge and some value. So, but thank you very much for being on the call. So Sarah, I think Sarah, you had a question, didn't you? If you want to unmute yourself, Sarah.
I'm actually here with Mohammed as well.
Oh, hi, Sarah, Mohammed.
Hi, how are you doing?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, long time.
Yes.
Okay. Now,
what's your question?
Yeah, my question was, of course, there are a lot of skills that involved, obviously, from what Brother Faz has presented to us, but also it emphasizes, how skillful he is in terms of, identifying, the right properties, in terms of, identifying, agreeing the right deal and securing the finances in place and everything that goes with that. For me, my question is really, when you have identified a property, okay, you have seen the property and you have identified it and it meets your objectives, financial objectives, and probably, within the cash envelope that you are prepared to spend. Now, what is the next move?
Sure. So what you're saying is, once you've identified the property, you have the cash ready, yeah? What would be the next move, yeah?
No. The cash is the issue here.
Okay, sorry. So,
you have identified the property.
Sure. Faz, what would you suggest?
speak to a mortgage broker straight away, immediately.
Yeah.
Either a mortgage broker or a coach, someone who can assess the properties. How you're going to be able to finance that property.
Perfect.
If it was to identify a property, I would go to a mortgage broker.
Sure. Okay.
A
Fine.
mortgage broker would advise me the best way to finance it.
Sure.
Now,
So I mean, yeah.
Also, Tony, it has to be. It cannot be a high street mortgage broker. It cannot be a mortgage broker that you find in a bank. It cannot be a mortgage broker that you find on the high street. It cannot be a mortgage broker that you find on Google. It cannot be a mortgage broker that you find on the internet or on social media and all this nonsense. No, it has to be a mortgage broker that is an investor themselves, yeah, and they have experience of the market, and they have access to more than 250 lenders.
Yeah.
It has to be a specialist mortgage broker. It has to,
Yeah.
you know, and I've got like 10 on my panel, you know.
Sure.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is like that we're looking at whole of market, and someone that's has knowledge of creative finance. Yeah.
Yeah. If someone who has knowledge of creative finance, absolutely. It cannot be any Tom, Dick, and Harry mortgage broker. No.
Yeah.
No, because they don't know. They don't know themselves. So how can they advise you? You know, it has to be a really specialist mortgage broker. Yeah.
But Mohammed, thank you very much for your answer. I'm not sure if that answers your question because
it does.
It's quite detailed. Yeah.
Thank you.
Obviously, either of us are happy if you want to, book in a call.
Even if to add to Mohammed's question, even if I was to identify a property and I want to learn how to purchase it myself, yeah, I would still go to a mortgage broker, you know, a specialist mortgage broker to advise me how best way to finance it, because there's many ways to skin a cat, right?
Yeah.
So I always, because I'm not a specialist, I have an idea. I have a good idea. I have a better idea than most average people. Yeah, but I would always seek the expertise of somebody who knows more about the finance market than I do. Yeah, always. Best policy, always. And I'm so humble to be able to seek advice of other people. You have to be.
Yeah. The other final question quickly is obviously many of us have poor bad credit, and you know it could be a struggle to approach the banker, the bankers and asking them for cash. But like you said, experienced lenders, investors have ideas. What sort of idea? Because you see, if one property can be financed, maybe the second one, everything goes very well. Money is paid, money is returned, and there is no hiccup. Probably on the first deal, struggle. Probably on the second deal, less struggle. On the third deal, boom, you have everything in place. Is that something that we can organize for our team members?
Yeah, sure, 100% we can do that. For we basically, I think with team members, I think like Tony said, we just need a 10-15 minute conversation with each individual member to understand what they want, what their goal is, and then I can package up a bespoke kind of a solution for them. Of course, it some fee kind of something, but then at least you have an idea as to how you can help them. You know,
include us on the list. The second on the list. I mean, Faz.
Yeah, okay. I've got you on my list anyway. I've got you on my radar because you've mentioned it to me. But it's not for me to go around asking people, do they want to do this? Do they want to do that? Do they want to do this? It's for me to say, look, this is what I'm doing. You know, if anybody wants to be part of what I'm doing, then come and talk to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure. Okay, so Mohammed, thank you very much. Just
thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
So just to ask Michael, do you have any questions, Michael?
The question I meant to ask, I think Mohammed asked already about the finance of the property, like from the when you get money from the lenders.
Sorry, it broke up there, Michael. Can you say that again? Sorry.
Yeah, I'm saying the question I meant to ask, I think Mohammed asked that already.
Okay.
The money from to renovate the property.
Thank you so much for that. So Michael, you're also welcome to, if you want a coaching call, then either you can arrange it together with Mohammed and be on the call, or if you need something separate, then I'm sure we can arrange something for you. Okay. But thank you anyway. Thanks for all the questions. That was really insightful, and we've run out of time. But firstly, I want to obviously thank the people who are on the call today, and who we hope that we gave you some value today, and answered all your questions. And obviously, thank you, Faz, for your time today and your wisdom. It's always much appreciated. Just to let you know, guys, we are going to be hosting these sessions twice a week, Mondays and Thursdays. I'll be posting this on my YouTube channel, and Faz will also be posting on his social media as well. So if you follow either of us, please do. But you know, if you come across my YouTube, please give us a subscribe, because that will then notify you as to what we're posting next, and when we you know, when we promote the next sessions. But thank you once again, and I wish you all a good evening, and look forward to seeing you again next week. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you so much, Mr. Fallon.